Well, good morning. It is Thursday. Thursday, September 2nd. And we are gathered for a morning devotion, again using Brian McLaren's Seeking Aliveness. And today's devotion is called Seeing God and Others. Jesus, as one of the descendants of the Hebrew slaves of Exodus, was formed in the history of liberation. Every year he gathered around a table to remember these events and to situate his life in the ongoing march from slavery to freedom. All who ate the Passover meal, as it was called, were demonstrating that they were not part of the slave-owning economy, but were among those seeking freedom from it. They wanted God's judgment to pass over them, which is the source of the meal's name, Passover, so they could pass over from slavery to freedom. As part of this community, reunited in this meal, Jesus learned a profound way of seeing God and others. Where others use their gods to defend an unjust status quo, Jesus believed in the God of justice and liberation. Where others saw a worthless slave, an exploited asset, a damnable sinner, a distinguished outsider, or disgusting outsider, Jesus saw someone to set free. That night before his crucifixion, Jesus and his disciples were celebrating the Passover meal. He urged his disciples to keep doing so, not just annually, but frequently. And not just in memory of Moses in the ancient Egypt, but also in memory of his life and his message. That's why followers of Jesus continue to gather around a simple meal of bread and juice today. By participating in this meal, we are making the same choice that Moses made, the same choice that Jesus made, to join God in the ongoing struggle to be free and to set others free. That's what it means to be alive in God's story of creation and nonviolent liberation. It's a wild road, but a road worth walking. And so he reflects on the Passover and the connection to our communion services and how the Hebrew people and the Jewish people today celebrate Passover in remembrance of the Exodus. And we celebrate the communion elements once a month, the first Sunday of the month, to remember the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, and to remember the mighty acts that God has worked in this world. And all those acts of God and all those acts of Jesus were to set those free, to set everybody free from whatever bondage is holding them back, from slavery to sin, to death, to disease, to depression, to you name it, whatever it is. This meal, this sacred meal that we share, is a liberating meal to set us free. And Jesus wanted his disciples to do this as often as he can in remembrance of me, which is the exact words that we use. And so we celebrate this meal, not frequently enough in my opinion, but it is a remembrance of God's liberating acts, of Jesus' liberating acts in this world. So we partake, and we eat, and we drink, and remember all that God has done in this world.